there! I am Oddimus Prime, and welcome to the second part of our 2009 adventure as part of 84 to 24, 40 years of rolling out. The brand of Transformers' 40th birthday this year, and we have been going through every single year, and we're now at 2009. Part 2, The Toys! I am joined, as always, by my wonderful, wonderful co-host. He is shiny and new and wonderful, and wearing his cake wave Lucan's tea t-shirt. I welcome PrimeTime Moff.
Do you know what I just thought of? We should start calling this second episode "The Toys That Broke Us," because at some points there's just so many. It does feel like that.
Yes, that works. I like that. We should do that. Right. This is okay. It's another bumper year. We've been going through this for many weeks, and it's got worse and worse and worse. There was a little bit of a reprieve last week where there was a tiny, no, it wasn't even less. I think we're gonna have to wait until we get. Do we? Are we ever going to get to a point where there's less? I
Yeah,
don't know.
this year's not got as many as this. Like,
No, no.
what? It's not got as many pieces of turd. Like, just things are just knocking out for the sake of knocking out. There's a lot more quality, and the more
Yeah.
recent stuff. But
I mean, the
talking
thing
of
is,
turds,
yeah. I was going to say the before we touch on these big piles of poo, I think also because we collect stuff, we're also slightly blinded to whatever else there is. There's
yeah,
so much other stuff that's coming out and
yeah,
is out all the time. And when we're looking through these slides and looking through all these things and talking about them, there's so many things that we're like, that exists.
yeah.
And we've just missed them because they're not aimed at us. Anyway,
You're right.
speaking of
You're
things
right.
that aren't
Totally.
aimed at us, here's some things that probably were aimed at us, but we didn't buy them because they were poo. And that is the Marvel crossovers. I don't want to talk about these. They're awful. We
Can
spoke
I
about
point
them
out
last
that
week. They're still
Thor
awful.
looks like a cheap pound shop knockoff?
Yeah,
What are they
see,
calling it? Thor?
that's what I was going to say. This is the only one I wanted to touch upon. It looks like those Star Wars figures that are the prototype figures that are all the
Yeah,
random figures.
it does.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
so bad. Then you got the
It's,
Spider-Man and Iron Man
but
combiner. I just the robot modes. I should have got some of the robot modes on the slides. They're just just the worst. And it's repaint city as well. I mean, the Hulk is now a bulldozer, which is surely just a slight remold of the tank version.
thank you.
Carnage is this Venom's mold. Wolverine gets classic costume and X-Force costume to go with the other version we had last wave. Anyway,
Oh,
enough of these. Be gone.
moving on.
And let's
Yeah,
move on to a wave
next
of toys
crossovers.
that I honestly thought ended so
Oh
many
yeah,
years before.
yeah.
It just keeps going.
I
Um,
feel the same.
and I feel like we had about 15 different versions of the Jedi Starfighter last year, and now we've got another four, five.
Yeah,
The only thing noticeable was I didn't realize there was an Ahsoka Tano one. But there is, and that is, I mean, I'm moving off. I don't care.
yep. Let's go.
Okay, right. We're on to Transformers Universe. The Universe 2 line sort of morphed. Well, I think it stayed as Universe 2 for this year. Less came out because there was more other things going on. But let's go over quickly. We have yet more 6-inch Cybertron heroes. Again, another line that I thought ended a long time ago. These are all
Yeah,
repaints. These are all exclusives. Two of which are Optimus Prime. One of which has been turned into Hot Zone, who is Hot Spot. Doesn't combine, it's just Prime painted a different color. Thrust is a repaint of Starscream, obviously, and Optimus Prime is a reverse colored Optimus Prime, sort of.
it's weird. Isn't
Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually seen that. Anyway, there were more robot heroes. Robot heroes, yes, those are the little
it?
PVC ones. Again, these were exclusive ones. I don't know if they're remodels of ones that were there previously or just repaints. I didn't bother to check because I wasn't interested. Then
Yeah.
we have the small titanium ones that are just repaints of the movie ones from last year, sold in 2 packs to make more money. Boring. Skip. Next. Universe 2 Legends and Deluxe class. Again, very small waves this year. The Legends class had some really stonking good toys in it.
Mhm.
Two good toys. Cosmos is a really interesting take on
Yep.
Cosmos. That warpath with the sort of H tank kind of design is also really cool. Rodimus, I think, is a repaint, but I could be wrong.
I'm sure it is, yeah.
Um, and Wheelie is Wheelie, so therefore I don't care. Um, the Warriors of the Three Worlds is a three-pack of Cybertron repaints. That's not very exciting. And deluxe class, we have Hotshot, which is actually a really cool figure. I'll talk 2 seconds about him in a second. Dinobot, which is again very much like Cheetor. Somehow they took a toy and improved it and made it way worse than the original. Like so much
Yeah,
worse.
yeah,
It's
it
an
wasn't good.
awful, awful toy. Smokescreen is just a repaint, and Ratchet is just a
Don't
repaint
say
of
it's just a
Ironhide.
repaint. The smokescreen colours are
It's
gorgeous. Like it's not
it,
just a repaint.
it's absolutely gorgeous, apart from the numbers. It just looks like somebody's like written a number in Microsoft
Yeah,
Word
absolutely. Yeah,
and then cut it
yeah,
out and
I
stuck
get
it on
you.
him, which is a shame. But the colors, he does look amazing. He does, yeah. I'm not gonna completely knock him. Jolt was cool because he has Jam written on the back, and if anybody knows anything about mid or late 90s fandom, there's a whole thing about Hotshot and Jam. Look it up. I'm not going to go into it now. It's fun. I can't remember whose blog it was on, but anyway, Jam, Jaam, Jam. Hotshot
Yeah.
likes Jam. Anyway, moving on. Ultra class, repaint
Oh,
class.
yes.
In fact, it is entirely repaints. You've got another Cybertron figure repainted. You've got Darkwind and Skyfall, who are both repaints of Silverbolt, who we discussed a lot last week.
Yeah, I've not got the
Uh,
sky. I've not seen the Skyfall in person. I've got the
no,
Dread Dark Wind. I'd like the
Darkwind was actually
Skyfall
pretty good.
actually because it's neat. I love that mold. I've told you my love for that. But yeah,
Yeah, Powerglide they made red finally, which is nice. And Hardhead, which we actually spoke about last week as
yeah,
well. And then in Voyager class, you've got two repaints
it's
of
the same one.
the same figure, both of which are primes, both of which are Leo Prime, in fact. I have
Mm.
one of those, but not the other. And Overlord, who again is, sorry, Overload, who again is a repaint of a Cybertron figure. But he has actually got a really cool gun, so that's fun. Next, Mighty Mugs. Going to go over these very quickly. Mighty Mugs were a, or are a, basically a vinyl recycled plastic um, figure 5 points of articulation. They are sort of almost the precursors to Funko Pops in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
Um, they are what they are. I didn't know there are three primes. I've only got one of them. But one of them is an STC exclusive, so I doubt I'll get that. The Soundwave looks pretty cool,
it's
though.
pretty cool.
Shockwave just looks weird with a round head.
It does actually.
It just
It
looks
really does.
really
I don't think I've ever
bizarre.
seen that one. I've got the fact that Bumblebee and Jazz get ears. Like
Yeah,
it's kind of weird,
yeah,
interesting. I think I had the Grimlock. I've got a Soundwave somewhere.
yeah.
But they're all right. Like
Oh no, I quite like them.
yeah,
Mine, oh, you can't see it. It's in the cabinet behind me, but you can't see anything in my cabinet, so it's fine. Next, Masterpiece with our weekly look at what came out in Masterpiece. We have still not really a lot.
however, you say not a lot. However, is the Skywalk the Walmart one? Is that the same as the one we end up getting in Argos?
Yeah, that
Like
is that
the
is
the
the Argos one.
stupid cheap Argos one that was like 20 quid
It
for a
was 20
masterpiece.
quid. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
And then MP Grimlock, which I was the first of the masterpiece I bought both the Takara and Hasbro of, and is still one of the best masterpieces. Like I still think that some of this era of masterpiece just is outstanding, and
yeah,
Grimlock is what masterpiece originally was, like giving you the best version of toy. I know they've
yeah,
like heavy tune, but
yeah,
this felt like a best version of toy. And you're still getting KOs, oversized KOs of the masterpiece Grimlock, which
yeah.
we've got stock of, and we're getting the shattered glass version of, which is very cool and not needed, but will be bought because it's just a great toy. I've got two of them,
Yeah,
and love them.
I was in a phase around this time that I'd made some kind of weird decision in my brain that I was only going to buy the American versions of Masterpiece figures and would pick them up from the shops. I was actually, to be fair, I was at this point in my collecting, I was buying stuff in the shops when I saw it. I wasn't
Yeah,
ordering anything online. I wasn't looking at any of the websites and stuff like that. I'd bought one figure from Big Bad Toy Store, in fact, a few years previously, but I hadn't been buying or ordering anything from online. I hadn't pre-ordered a single thing at this point. Oh, those are the days when you didn't have to pre-order everything. Ah, so wistful. But yeah, Skywarp I picked up in Argos when it was like no money.
stupid good.
So that was nice. Black Convoy, that's nice. And I never had the Takara version of Grimlock. I only had the Toys R Us version, which was also cool. It had a
It
really, really
was,
nice
it
packaging.
was,
Really
it
nice
was,
packaging.
it was. It very much was.
Um,
And it's Grimlock, look, Grimlock King.
yes, Grimlock is indeed king. More Transformers animated. Very, very surprisingly few figures this year actually for animated. I was because animated was such a big thing last year. I thought
Yeah.
there was more this year, and it turned out I was wrong. There's not a lot at all, and the
No, there's not.
activators are primarily repaints or slight
Yeah.
remolds. I
I've never
don't.
seen the Bandit lockdown. I've sold you. I'd like to get a lockdown. I'd like to get
Yeah,
a Bandit lockdown.
I think that's just a repaint. Prime
Yeah.
is just a replay. Oh yes, Armor Up Prime. I've actually got that figure. It's it's he's got the markings on him for Star Convoy for reasons. Don't know why. Just has. And Bumblebee and Cliff Jumper because yeah.
Great mold, so
Although
not a bad thing.
the color on Fire Blast Grimlock is really nice. I like that.
Beautiful.
Moving
Yeah.
on. Deluxe cast, we have a repaint of Soundwave with a new
Stunning.
it's Rat Bat instead of
Yeah.
as his keytar, which is cool. You got Freeway Jazz, who is painted to look more like movie jazz, which is quite a nice
Yeah.
touch. Samurai Prowl with his sidecar that turns into armor,
He's
and he looks
so nice.
absolutely amazing.
So
And
nice.
who doesn't love a Waspinator?
Oh,
And
and that
that is
Waspinator is
honestly
fabulous.
one of the most gorgeous ones ever.
Nice.
Roadbuster Ultra Magnus I talked about a little bit last week because it's the Roadbuster colored version of Ultra
Yep.
Magnus. Atomic Lugnut, don't care. And Retgar, who we might talk about later. Value packs. Ah, those value packs. Now, I have a weird recollection that the Prime with all the black markings on him
Mhm.
came with Megatron. But these value packs appear to be telling me something
No, he
different.
did. No, he did. He
He
did.
did come with
He
Megatron.
did.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
maybe we missed him
Yeah.
before.
I think he was.
Anyway,
I think he was the first year. I think he was last year. I'm
yeah,
sure we had him
I
on the slide.
cool. Maybe
I
we
had
did.
that set. I had that set. So
Yeah,
he
I
definitely came with that.
Well, yeah, I only had the Prime. I don't know. I don't even know when I got him or where I got him from, but I have him. The gift sets again. They're basically package a couple of Legend class figures with a deluxe class or a Voyager class,
Yeah.
and made it a pack that costs more money. But some nice replays. Rescue Ratchet is actually really nice. I liked the yellow.
I really want that stealth lockdown, which I didn't know existed
Oh
until
yeah, no,
we were
that's
looking
actually really.
after this. I was looking for
Is that
the activator lockdown, and I saw that, and I was like, "Oh no, I want that."
is that transparent plastic?
Hmm.
Oh, I
Gorgeous,
need
by the
that.
way, like stupid gorgeous.
Quick,
So
let's leave this slide. Cool.
right,
And now, and now we get to the first slew of the Transformers Revenge of the Fallen toy line. And our first new toy line of this era, RPM. Now, Moff, what does RPM stand for?
Hot Wheels knockoff,
Yeah. Yeah.
robot powered machines. Is that right?
Robot powered machines. It's the start of Hasbro's weird acronyms that make no real
But
sense.
am I right? These are the ones that when you turn them round, they kind
Yeah,
of a body as if it was the bit. So you
yeah,
just went like
they
that. Oh,
are.
like, it's transformed.
They are literally Hot Wheels toys for all intents and purposes with a embossed version. It's not. It doesn't even look like it's just an embossed version of the character on the other side. It's not even
Yeah.
like you flip it up and then it looks like it's transformed. No, nothing so technical. It's just that. I actually have more of these than I thought I did. Um, I have Sideways, I have Jolt, I've got a few others. Um, the Battle Chargers, I think, are a different subline that do some kind of transforming, but I can't tell you for sure. And they came with a definitely not Hot Wheels racetrack set that was
It's kind
also
of cool.
Devastator. It is actually pretty cool. It's like
Kind of like that.
Devastator.
Yeah.
It is what it is. And I'm not really sure what the Speed series and the Commander series have anything over the other ones. Basically, it was two packs or single packs, and that was about it. Yeah, I think I talked about them longer than I even wanted to.
Yeah, mate.
Next, uh, Robot Heroes. They did a whole range of robot heroes for Revenge of the Fallen, including some actually quite sweet gift sets. The gift sets
Yeah.
are cool because you had giant bots in them or a selection of bots, but also the first time that this range had vehicle modes. They were separate figures. They were
Yep.
massively stylized, bonkers vehicles. The Prime truck is just fantastic. But you also got a really cool Jetwing Prime and a few other bits. That was a nice little. I liked
That's cool.
those. The rest of the
Don't
bots,
think I'd
not
seen
really
them. No.
fussed about. They're just more of the same. I think this is the last sort of the death throes of this line. Moving on. Boop.
What we've
Oh
got
yeah,
next.
robot
Yes.
replicas.
Yeah.
I did not realize that there was a wave of robot replicas for Revenge of the Fallen. I don't think I have ever seen any of these toys ever in my
No,
life.
no, I don't think so either. And I think it's, we were talking in the preamble to this, we were kind of working out what RPM stood for. We talked about the robot enhanced designs, the
Hmm.
RED figures. And this is the kind of precursor to that, where it's
Yeah.
like, let's just focus on it being just robot. And I get it. Like, there's a lot of chat just now about non-transforming toys and trying to give you, there's no way you're going to get a transforming toy that looks accurate to the movie.
Yes.
I just don't think I don't think they're good enough. Like,
No.
if you're going to take away the gimmick, you need to make it look perfectly like a film, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And this doesn't really do it. They're okay,
Yeah.
but they're not great. Proportion, can we say it? Proportions aren't really perfect on them, and it's a
No.
shame. They should
No.
almost scale perfectly as well. If you're going to go that robot enhanced bit, can I have them scale right? And they
Yeah.
don't really do that.
Yeah, they're not great. Yeah, there we go. I'm moving away from them
Yeah, move away from
because
it.
yeah, that's
Are they really Transformers? They
I've
don't
got
transform?
nothing really interesting to say about this. But gone. Then we've got some gift sets. The Gathering of the Nemesis, Straight Away Shootout, and War
Yeah.
for the Skies. They're all repaints of pre-existing figures or new figures that are also repainted. They're all the Legends class bots. Um, yeah. The combiners gift sets, yet again, we get
Yeah.
another version of Superion, who I think is now on his fourth
Yeah, I
fourth
think so. Yeah.
release. Bruticus Maximus replaces. No, he was released last year as well, I think.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And Devastator. The Devastator figure is
Is
actually
this the smaller kind of scale one?
no, this is the big one. It's just
Is
it
it?
doesn't really show in this picture because it's a tiny
Hmm.
version. But it was enormous. I
It
I
was. I remember
kind
that
of
one.
wanted it, but it was always just a little bit too expensive. And then ones I've seen sort of after that, when
Yeah,
I
beat
was
up.
thinking of getting it, it's all beaten up and broken because we talked about it before. Things like that are meant to be the big present to get the kids for
Yeah, yeah,
Christmas. So it's full of gimmicks. It's not a particularly good representation of the how it looks in the film, and it's not a transformer in the
yeah,
same way the other transformers are. So it's a bit more like that rollout Optimus
yeah.
kind of feel. It was a big funky, chunky toy. It turned into the vehicle modes, but it didn't have the
Yep.
robot modes. Well, there was no robot modes really, technically. Um, yeah, never had it. I don't want
Saw
it
it a
now.
couple of times at
Oh
TFN
yeah,
stuff, but yeah, not
yeah,
all assemblies. But as you say now, it's like way past that point. It's, it
yeah.
would be appealing
I think it's one of those ones that's probably going to be reasonably valuable in the future because getting hold of it complete is
in
really
good condition.
difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there we go. Moving on. Oh, some other shockers here.
What
Power
the frick
bots.
is that Devastator?
Okay, well, now I know a little bit about that Devastator because I remember seeing it in the shops lots of times and looking at it and mocking it and thinking it was possibly one of the worst things I've ever seen. So basically, it's a really, really bad robot mode version of Devastator that transforms into the composite vehicle parts by lying on its front
That's awful.
like this. And the robot mode is also tragic. It's got the
Oh,
it's got the gimmick, the whirlwind kind of eating
yeah.
thing gimmick, but in its chest, oh, it's just
That's
Jetwing Optimus though is pretty cool. It's one of those like kiddie version ones. It's all big
yeah.
and chunky and it's got lots of lights and sound and stuff. But I really like that. The Bumblebee and Megatron are similar to that. Well, they're the same range, just smaller ones. Um, Bumblebee's plasma cannon and Bumblebee voice mixer helmet are actually really cool roleplay items. The helmet is really nice.
Is that what
Looks
the
really
missus
good.
says?
Yeah. And just to add to that, the Bumblebee plasma cannon, it sort of transforms because you can make the fist come out of it. What? And now I'm going to change the slide because we've lost Moff. Oh, look, fast action
Oh,
battlers. You remember those from last year.
yeah.
Um, so quite a few are indeed remolds from the previous year. Well, repaints from the previous year. Nothing particularly exciting there. They're fast action battlers.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
do
dear,
some
dear.
rubbish transformation.
That's okay
Uh,
because I always like the aspect at this point because I've got kids myself, right? So I don't want to buy them the best legacy toy. They're a bit bigger now, but when they were wee, I don't want to buy them the best of it, the kind of stuff that I was buying. I wanted kids versions of stuff for them, so like your rescue bots and stuff like that. Never bothered me because it doesn't need to be for me. Like, and this is what this bit's for. It very cleverly at this point already knows that geeks are going to have kids. Get your kids, get the geeks to buy their kids presents. It makes they buy presents as well, and you cash in. They got it. They absolutely got it, and this was what they were doing. Right? What are you
exactly.
going to? What are you pulling away from the side there? We bring a toy over to show?
Oh no, I was closing the door because the dog tried to come in.
I thought you were going to go look, and I've got this.
No. Um, the gravity bots, they were quite cool. They had the little the button on the bottom of them, so when you flipped them over, they'd all pop out.
Yeah, I've got the but well, Jamie's got the bumblebee.
I surprisingly have the Prime. Um,
No star
mo
streams. That's a good point for me. There wasn't an overwhelming amount of star streams and all this stuff. I didn't really have to go the your level. Thank
no.
Starstream. Sorry, it sounds popular.
Did
He's
you just
not. I
did you
did
just
say
forget who
Starstream.
your
Yeah, I
favorite
know. I
character
did.
is?
Shush. I did say that, but I don't. If I collected the Megatron or Optimus, oh, I would be in real trouble. Like real trouble. Like as you very well know.
Yeah,
Almost. I think I'd be better if I collected Wheelie
yeah.
because it's so much easier.
Well, I got to a point when I was mo when I was still collecting Chug on the whole, and also a few other lines as well. I ended up with an entire shelf of Bumblebee, an entire shelf of Megatron, and half a room of Optimus Primes. And I only recently got rid of all my Bumblebees, but there's so
Yeah,
many. It was just
yeah, it is.
even not
It
intending to
goes
collect
crazy,
them. You
doesn't
just
it?
yeah. Let's move
I know
on
that feeling.
to
Go
sorry,
for it.
the
Let's go. What we
deluxe
got
class.
next?
Oh no, Legends class, sorry.
Oh,
So there's some
legends.
nice new molds in here. This is the worst. No, I don't know if it's the worst version Legends of Optimus Prime or is it I don't know. The first couple are a bit pony. It's
Yeah.
only when you get to Commander class in the next film that they're a bit better. But yeah, I had a few of these. I had Skids, I had Bumblebees, and I had Optimus and the Fallen, I think. There's some pretty nice ones. I liked Springer as well. They decided to make the
That plane
oh
that we couldn't remember the name of
Osprey.
last week.
Osprey. It's an
Oh,
Osprey. Just popped into my
good
head.
man.
Could not remember that from anyway. Yeah, so they've got that. Again, nice. And most of the others are repaints of either the same figures from
Yeah.
this line or from ones from previous years. And Ironhide's red, so that's nice. And oh yes, and the Jetfire combines with the Optimus Prime.
I was like, actually,
And
that's quite cool. That's quite
and
clever. I like that.
yes, but it's awful.
All right.
Um, I was about to say, and it's awful. Basically, so you see that jet like
Yeah.
that. So you transform Optimus into his robot mode, and then you stick that on his back. Combined.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on. Get
Moving
into
on.
Legends.
Scout class, because we had Scout class as well as Legends class back in these days.
Scout
Scout
class
was
was
some
okay. Scout class was that a little bit better. I did the Legends class never
yes.
clicked with me at all, but a couple of these I got because they're kind of cool.
There is some really good ones. Dirt Boss is a really nice
Yes.
figure in both molds, as is Depth Charge.
Yep.
And you also have count them, two movie characters from this line. The rest of them are not. Some really nice homages to other Rangers as well with Nightbeat and Reverb is, oh, what's his name? That bike from G1 or G2. Anyway, Last Dregs of G1 or G2, one of the,
Oh, the laser rod one.
yeah, same colors anyway.
The
But Eject,
Ransac's a great wee jet. A wee great wee plane.
oh yeah, no, very much so.
I really like that.
Very much so. Yeah, no, he's really cool. A biplane transformer, which actually is in the film,
But is it?
sort of.
There is a plane. I just don't know if it's ever like confirmed that's
Yeah,
that one.
but yeah, I don't think it. There's a bit where Simmons is talking about the Seekers and
Yeah,
how, oh yes, they've been here for years, and the Seekers were looking for what they're looking for. What's the MacGuffin in this film? Is it the Matrix? It's the
Matrix.
Matrix,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah. So they were looking for the Decepticon Seekers, and they came to Earth looking for the Matrix, and they were all planes, and he showed a picture of a biplane or something. Anyway, and then there's Ejector, and Scalpel, who are actually characters in the film and look like how they do it in the film, and they're
Yeah.
cool. And that toaster with his little power plug and everything is a great little figure.
I would buy that. I've never seen it. Never seen it in person. But just
It's
the fact that it exists is kind of fun.
it's super cool, and Scalpel's also pretty cool. He was a weird character in the film. Um, yeah, that whole plot point where they stick a weird little robot thing in. Oh, whatever. So gooey. Why is everything saying gooey in these films?
Oh, I
So
know.
much goo. Anyway. Oh, I did that slide badly. The deluxe class was because there's so many of them. Lots of new molds, a couple of reuses, but not very many.
And
And it's
some really good
surprising,
ones.
surprising as well. And this is the other thing we didn't really sort of touch on. The film was made within 2 years, which also meant that they had to get the entire toy
Yeah.
line made within that time. And obviously, the film wouldn't have had all of the designs for the characters until partway through production.
Yep.
So they
Yep.
had a very, very short amount of time to get some of these together, which is actually pretty amazing. Which is also why you've got some characters in there that are not in the film to sort of flesh out the line. Um, yeah, Wheelie being the biggest of the deluxe class figures, which is ironic considering that he is an actual radio control
Yeah.
car. Um,
He was kind of fun wee toy. Like
yeah, yeah, no, he is cool. And the aforementioned Mudflap and Skids that
the
turns
ice
into the
cream truck.
dice. It
Oh,
is a really great figure.
it's a great fun wee fit.
Really,
And
really
it's got
great
all the
figure.
kind of different like wee silly touches on it as well. It just makes it but it is a really
Yeah,
nice put together figure.
yeah.
Um yeah, I do like it.
I was a big fan of Sideways as well. He's a really nice figure, and
Yes.
Sideswipe as well.
Yeah.
Ravage, I like, but he's one of those Transformers that doesn't need to transform, and therefore they sort of shoehorned him into this terrible,
Yeah.
terrible alt mode that's supposed to be like his missile mode or whatever. But you
Yeah.
also get the missile of Ravage with Soundwave,
Yep.
which is nice. Oh, and
First
then
movie
there's
Soundwave toy. Just,
yeah.
let's bring in the big guns.
I didn't have Breakaway, but I did have Thrust. I really liked Thrust because Thrust was always my favorite Seeker. And that was just a really nice deep red lane. Quite cool
I got
robot mode.
Autobot Gears because Gears was my first Transformer, and
Uh,
he's actually got a lot of throwbacks to the original toy, like sense of colour. So you don't see it on that, but when he's in his robot mode, he's kind of
yeah,
obviously got a throwback to that, which is nice.
Yars. And the helicopter's quite cool, Blaze Master. Anyway, Voyager class. Voyager class was a little bit better and worse. So you had Demolisher and Longhaul off of Devastator, who don't combine in any way, shape, or form to become Devastator, and were never intended to, along with Rampage, I think on the previous slide.
Yep, yep.
Another version of Ironhide, which I think had just some slightly different weapons, but it might have been pretty much the same mold. Um, yeah, Megatron tank. That
Massive
tank
shit.
version of Megatron is I like it more than the leader version because that actually looks like the tank he has
Yeah.
in the film, which the leader version does not. Mixmaster is really cool. He's actually a really, really
Yes.
cool toy, and he has a third mode as a sort of a big cannon thing, and that's awesome. Although my highlight from this wave is Stratosphere. He is actually a really, really nice figure. Um, Doofus, big, gangly, long-legged, awkward-looking, stupid
Yeah.
robot, and also comes with a really tiny Optimus Prime, which is obviously a reason to love it. Um, I actually still have a Stratosphere, but he's broken.
Oh.
I wonder why I got him. And then, despite having a shiny new, lovely Voyager version of Starscream, they re-released the terrible one for Ramjet and Skywarp.
That's a
But the
shame.
one thing with this year, you have they focus less on the gimmick, which means that you get a more movie accurate looking
Yes,
figure.
yeah, yeah, very much so. These, but you could see an improvement on them.
Yeah,
Um, the previous movie figures.
yeah. I don't think I think that's another version of the same mold of Optimus Prime from last year.
Yeah.
But anyway, next. Ooh, two actually interesting things here. Well,
Okay.
So I mean, you've got um, obviously the leader class figures, which have the Megatron with the aforementioned terrible tank mode,
Yep.
and it's a terrible bot mode. It's actually just a
It's
terrible
not a very
toy.
good toy.
It's
No, it's
just,
not.
and it's really chunky, but it doesn't really do a lot. I just no, I hate it. Again, this one I was saying about they don't sacrifice things for the gimmick. Megatron was all gimmick, and it was just an awful toy.
Yeah.
Awful. Um, and Optimus Prime and Jetfire, they weren't. They
They were great.
really,
Like,
really weren't.
really were. I really loved them.
I feel like we might be touching on them in a minute. The other thing, and a really, really good feature within this year, is the Human Alliance figures. So good. Just a really,
Yes.
really nice bunch of toys. You had probably the most accurate versions of the Transformers themselves. The Bumblebee
Yeah.
looks really, really nice. It's posable. It still has gimmicks, but it's a really, really nice bot mode. It's a really, really nice car mode. The same with all of them. And then they come with a really awful human figure,
Yeah.
which you can stick in seats. And
It made me want Mask.
yeah,
Like, it felt like
it
it
was
could be that.
it was very Mask-esque.
Yeah.
Um, And obviously, they thought that skids and mudflat would become really popular, so skids got the treatment. And there may also be Barricade. I can't remember if it was this year
I think
or
he's later. The look is for this movie. I
yeah,
think it's like when it came out. I think it came out later.
yeah,
But again, it's a nice. Barricade's
yeah,
always good.
yeah. No, Barricade is always good. Um, Sideswipe with Tex Sergeant Epps, who appears to be bow-legged. In fact, they all look a bit bow-legged.
They
Those
are.
those those figures are just
I'm not good,
just the worst.
but they get better. The figures do get better. Like
They do get better,
the human alliance
yes.
stuff gets better. Even they're good. At this point, they're as you say, the robots, but they do get better.
Yeah,
The human alliance is very much a wave that a line that we really enjoy.
yeah. I put a big picture there because they look cool. Um, boop. Oh yeah, and the last dregs. Look, it's Ultimate Class Bumblebee again.
Because everybody needs that.
Uh, and the versus sets, which are actually really interesting
Yes,
because the
yes,
the back row brawl is awesome with Mixmaster in his G1 colors. Apart from inexplicably still has a grey cement mixer rather than
yeah.
purple. But hey, and the hoist figure off of that mold from the first movie. I can't remember the name of the character, but the
The one
pickup
that was
truck.
based on the truck, but
Yeah,
it wasn't like it was just
but
a robot, a proper
I
transformer.
mean, just it is hoist, isn't it? It just looks like hoist,
It
and the
does.
robot mode also looks like hoist. It's got a very good hoist head, and the Masters of Metallicato, which is a great little set.
It's Bludgeon versus who's the other one?
Can't remember who the helicopter is. Cannot remember. But yeah, Bludgeon. And then the Fury of Fear Swoop. It's Fear Swoop, and he
Look
is
at the
full of
colors. Oh,
fury. That's so good.
mm.
Orange. Do like a bit of orange.
So yeah, I like it. Like it.
And next
It's you
is
next.
oh, it's me. Oh well, there we go. Surprise, surprise. I have cheated, and I'm going to talk about Jetwing Prime. So thus, I get to talk about Jetfire and Prime.
Which I
Um,
don't disagree with because actually both on their own are great. But oh, look at that. That's an impressive bot.
it really is. So I bought the Prime fairly quickly when it came out, and then I put off buying Jetfire for a really long time. I wasn't overly sold on the Jetfire itself, and I didn't particularly like the look of the Jetwing mode because I didn't like those two big halves of a
Yeah,
blackbird stuck off the top of it, off the top there. But
I get that.
I've grown to like it. It's a really it really is a fantastic. It's the only true combiner in this series of figures, despite the fact that you have an actual combiner in the film. Um, but it combines together well. It holds together well. I've got mine just up there, which I'm not going to reach down because I don't want it to fall apart. I love him. He's on my Jetwing Prime shelf. He's such a fun figure. But they made
Yeah,
so many improvements to the
he
actual
really
leader
did.
class Optimus. Such a good figure. Looks amazing. And in such a short space of time. But again, they sacrificed well, some of the things that were causing a problem with the original one. It was very chunky in the
Yeah,
midriff because he had all the gimmicks going on. His feet were massive because he had the
yeah.
auto morph thing going on. But this version is so much better. Lots of ball joints and it just looks fantastic. I don't think this pitch is actually the Hasbro version. It might be the Takara one because it appears to be silver rather than grey in places. But anyway,
Hmm.
that's by the by. And then Jetfire himself, the actual Jetfire robot mode is great if you can ever get the bugger to stand up. Um, and the jet mode is just gorgeous. It
It's
looks
stunning.
so good. It does suffer a bit from the thing that I moaned about with Silverbolt last year when you've got the robot folded up in the under half of a really nice looking plane. But again, it's fine. It's just a lovely, lovely toy. And fun fact, I when I eventually got that, I didn't pay for it.
You
Uh,
stole it.
no. So remember I told you that the Transformers UK magazine, the horrible toy on the front cover, full of competitions and stuff.
Yes.
I'll tell you that my mate was the editor.
No.
I'll tell you that my mate was the editor and said, "Hey, we've got these prizes for the latest issue. Do you want them?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Oh, just just do this entrance, this competition, and I'll pick you as the winner."
Tell me it was like a kids' drawing contest or something.
Oh,
Ages
no,
climbing up.
I can't even remember what
That's
it was.
amazing.
It was like, oh, what does Optimus
Yeah.
Prime turn into, or something like that. But he said to
Rigged.
me, well, yeah, he did say to me that the amount of entries I actually got for those competitions was so low that the same person won the first three issues in a row because just drawing it out of the hat, there were so few people to draw out, and he just said just to make it a little bit more interesting. He might have owed me money, I don't remember. But anyway, so I'd already had the Prime, so I then had the Prime and Jetwing
Beautiful.
Prime. Yeah. Anyway, that's enough of that. Boom!
Oh, look at that thing. It's just amazing. Like, we talked about how good the animated figures are in terms of bringing the characters from the screen to life. Rick Gar, I loved Rick Gar in the original cartoon movie. The original toy was pretty guff. This is just great. Like, he's got bags of character, and just looks brilliant in both modes. Like, it just, he's beautiful.
It's
He's actually
so
beautiful.
it's so refreshing looking at that after looking at all that Ava's
Yeah,
nightmare.
yeah.
Um, it,
I think it's the good thing is we're going to next year's and we start talking about Prime and stuff. I think Prime toys are pretty good as well. Like it's
oh
not as
no,
if
they're amazing.
I think the cartoon toys at this point were better representations in the movie stuff. I think the movie stuff's too overcomplicated, so you're always going
Yeah,
to struggle with that. Like this is
exactly.
not complicated. Like look
No,
at that. It's not. It's chunky. It's animated was kind of like G1 as well because it's like I know it's more stylized, but it's chunky. It's not trying to be overly
yeah,
detailed, intrinsic. It's actually just very chunky, but works really well. I mean, that thing is just gorgeous, and
it
he is
is.
just.
I,
Oh,
I love the fact that his. I mean, it was obviously the design of the animated character as well, but the face looks like Retgar, but also looks like Weird Al Yankovic.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It is just him.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a it's a beautiful, beautiful figure, and I wish I had ever owned it, which I
Yeah.
didn't. I didn't pick it up in the shops on multiple occasions, and now I want one because it looks
No, I,
lovely.
I I did sell some of my animated stuff, and this is one I absolutely regret. And at some point, we'll pick up again because he's just
Yeah,
brilliant.
gorgeous. Right, well, gonna try and make this a little bit shorter than last time, but when I thought last one was short, it ended up being an hour and 20 minutes. So hopefully this is quicker.
An
Um,
hour 19.
Oh, yay! Anyway, this has been our journey through the toys of 2009. Hopefully, there's something there that you've gone, "Oh, I really wish I played with that." Or maybe you just got some nostalgia feels of something you used to have, or you've just been ticking off all the ones you've got whilst listening to us waffle on. But yes, thank you for joining us. Please do make sure that you like and subscribe and watch back the video multiple times. Tell your friends about it. Find bits that are funny and point. And also, please do put into the comments any inaccuracies that we've made, because there will be many. We don't know anything. Um,
That's what the show should be called. What we don't know about Transformers.
yes. What we've learned about Transformers has been from TF Wiki and Transformerland. Anyway, that's fine. Right. So yes, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please do come back and listen to more things. We've got plenty of content coming up all the time. There's lots and lots of shorts these days. Moff's doing his talking robots. We've got unboxings. We've got little mini reviews. Plus we've got retro reviews and Optimus PrimeTime reviews. All sorts of stuff. There's tons of stuff. Possibly even too much stuff. But please do like and subscribe. And I hope you've enjoyed this. And we will see you next week for 2010. Gosh, what happens in 2010? I can't even think.
I got married.
Did you?
Don't know anything else that happened.
Oh,
I
oh.
genuinely, I actually, it's so funny. when we start talking about the years, I remember them, but like
Yeah,
it's hard to go back to those points, but it's good fun. I'm looking forward to next week's.
awesome. Right. Again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye.